Hey, board gamers. BJ from Game Gumbo here.
Back in the gumbo pot.
Back in the Gumbo pot. Hey, we got DJ Bell in. Jay, you just got back from
Pax Unplugged 2022.
the warmest city in America, I hear.
You know, it actually wasn't as bad as I expected. I mean, coming back from the UK to Louisiana and then knowing that it was going to be like 30 degrees in Philly,
Right?
I wasn't.
Isn't
I
that like
couldn't-
negative 50 in Celsius or something like that?
It's not that cold, but I couldn't remember like what level of layering I should do at 30 degrees. So I was like trying to figure it out as I was there each day, and it worked out. It wasn't cold. I wasn't outside much though, so yeah.
It's not just me and you tonight.
No.
And we've got some great games, but I do want to talk about Pax Unplugged.
Mhm.
But we also have
Adam the Austin.
Adam the Austin here and the Bradley.
I don't get a
Bradley's here.
special introduction.
Bradley's here in the corner. So if you guys have any questions for Jay, Jay, walk us through day one.
Yeah, well,
Was this a business venture for you, business meeting? Because
Yeah.
you know you're with Panda.
Yep, Panda
Or
Game
was this for a
Manufacturing.
personal or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. So I actually started with day zero because I got there on Thursday, and that, it's typical fashion. You try to get there a little bit early so that you're not arriving on the first day of PAX. You're already ready to go that Friday morning.
Right.
So on Thursday, I got there and I met up with Carla and a couple people.
Call a cop from a draft.
Yeah, from the Weird Giraffe Games team.
I could have gotten you to bring those games back to her.
Yeah, we've had Carla's games since last BGG Con.
Carla, sorry, it's only been a year.
Yeah, she is actually out in Massachusetts right now at a board game designer retreat with a couple of different people that I'll mention. But I got to meet her, or I got to catch up with her on Thursday, and Aaron from Game Enthuse also met up with us.
I'd like to have him on the show one of these
He
days.
is. I learned this weekend. Aaron is extremely funny, but like in a quippy response sort
Absolutely.
of situation. Yeah.
You watch his videos? Have you
Yeah.
ever
Oh
seen
yeah.
them?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Aaron's video style. I told him actually when I was there, he likes to. So it's usually just him in his video, but when he's setting up a game, he usually sets up like a 2 or 3 player situation, and he just grabs random things. So like the remote control will be playing like a coffee pot, or and it's just hilarious. So we played Calico. Hey, look who's checking in.
Oh, there he is. One of the games we're playing tonight. I don't know if we're going to get to play it though, right? I guess not. Wait, is this
what's that?
Topher?
Yeah, it's
no,
Topher.
that's Topher. So I
It's
was
Topher.
thinking that was Evan.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's Topher.
So Topher, thank you again. We are going to be playing Aquatica Cold Waters thanks to my Secret Santa, who will remain nameless.
Yeah,
Topher.
no one knows who your Secret Santa is. But yeah, so Aaron was there. A couple other people that work with Carla were there, and a guy named Russ from the UK actually
Russ
came
Thompson?
all the way. No, not Russ Thompson. I don't remember Russ's last name, but he does content creation under the name Chits and Giggles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm familiar with it. Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
yeah. So Russ was there. Russ I met at UKGE.
For
and-
Chits and Giggles.
Yeah,
I remember,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I met him at UKGE, and he actually got to come to PAX and experience Philly for the first time. He's a big foodie, so he was in the perfect city for that. And
Did you run up the steps and take a picture with?
oh,
Rocky
I don't think he did the Rocky rhyme
At the museum?
Yeah, I don't think he did the Rocky rhyme. But we played
You're not,
Calico.
and I'm glad. I really appreciate it. And I like knowing that you did it. And thank you again for the gift.
Yeah, we played Calico, and we played one of Carla's prototypes that I will say is really, really good.
Really?
Yeah. She's kind of shifting. She's establishing like a new brand, and the Weird Giraffe Games
Bigger
brand
game?
is actually quite the opposite. Smaller
The opposite.
games.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. She's focusing on a lot of smaller games, to kind of go with Explosion in the Laboratory,
Sure.
kind of build a line around that.
Did you say laboratory?
Yeah.
It's been in the UK too much.
You've-
I guess I have.
Oh, I
guess
love that
have.
word, too,
Yeah,
by the
I'm gonna
way.
just start saying
That's how I
aluminium
pronounce it for
and all
fun.
that.
Right. Swathes.
Yeah.
Swathes.
Yeah, but no, the game she had us try was really, really good. I won't say too much, but we'll have to chat with her someday to
Is this
see,
one? Is
see what
this
she
a
up to.
J Bell joint? Or you helping her out with it? A little
No,
bit?
I had no part in this one,
Okay.
but it's really top notch.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look forward to that. And that's under the Weird Giraffe label, or
I think it's
Galactic
probably
Raptor?
under her other label. No, it's gosh, what is it? It's the bird one. She started as an April
the
Fool's joke.
Phoenix. Something Phoenix, right?
No. So I think you might be thinking about Soft Phoenix, which is a Saturday thing that I'm gonna get to.
Okay.
But Quirky Bird Games is Carla's
Wow, I didn't even know
new
this.
sort of brand that she's working on. But so Friday came around, and people rained in from all over the states, all over the world, and Steve O'Rourke, came
the
to Philly.
NameFather, who should be checking in pretty soon.
Have me say schedule and aluminium.
Aluminium. Hey, Time Roller, what's up? Thank you for checking in, man.
Yeah, so Steve came and visited from the New York State. He got to chat with me. We actually didn't play any games, but we caught up. He tried a lot of stuff though.
He was with his board game group, right?
From his university. I got to meet all the students.
He may be doing a write-up for us for Pax U.
Yeah. Some new board game community members jumping into the industry. We're gonna try to get them kind of coming through. I guess maybe the same way I did. Start with reviews and just start creating content. It's really cool to see just like fresh faces coming through, and their enthusiasm was all over the place.
Yeah, Time Roller's a fan of Cold Water's expansion. Yep, we're gonna get that played pretty soon.
Nice.
So that was Steve on Thursday, right? Okay.
No, Friday.
No, it was Friday. Okay.
Also on Friday, I got to meet someone I never thought I'd meet. Yeah.
Brian Barnes.
No, it wasn't Barnes. I got to do that last week. I got to meet Rodney Smith.
Oh, Rodney Smith.
Yeah.
From Watch It Played.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so funny. He was at the booth of a friend of mine. His name's Chris Matthews. He's working on a new game, an Age Contrived, which is a brilliant game that has components you would expect nothing less of someone who used to work for Panda, who's now breaking into the board game industry, designing his own games. And Age Contrived is, I can't say enough about it. Kickstarter's coming next year, but everybody should check it out. Wow. And so Rodney was at the booth with Paula and Matthew, and I didn't recognize him under the mask. I'd met Paula before, but I didn't know who she was with. So I just leaned over to Rodney and I was like, "Hey man, you should really check out this game." And he looked at me. He was like, "J Bell?" And I was like,
"You recognize you?"
"Yeah, I do." I was, at that moment, I was just like,
"That's funny.
What is happening?" So I freaked out, and Paula's just standing behind him giggling.
We've had the Eric Ling name droppings. Now we're getting the Rodney Smith knows me name droppings. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
This weekend, I realized just like
how small the community is. Or how much J Bell has blown up.
I guess both. I guess both. I mean, I'm a humble guy. I don't like to, think too much of myself, but it's really starting to feel like, I don't know.
Okay, you've arrived. Yeah. I mean, that's no other way to say it.
So Rodney and I just...
And you work for a major manufacturer.
Yeah.
That's a great job.
Yeah. We chat for a little bit.
Rodney's a cool guy, right?
He's such a nice guy.
By the way, speaking of Rodney Smith, Rodney and Jamie from Secret Cabal were talking up for Tessa's game, Wicked and Wise, all weekend.
It's a good game.
I'm telling you, I don't know if you saw the engagement. I mean, tons of people sharing it and liking it. I liked it when we played it, but I haven't seen it since that prototype version, so I don't know how much has changed since
I actually got a chance to stop by the Weird Giraffe Games booth and just check out the display that they had and some of the demos. Wicked and Wise looks really cool. Trick-taking game, if anybody's into that. It's basically like spades with powers. You're doing particular things. Yeah.
Team-based with the Dragon and Mouse? Lion and Mouse?
Dragon and Mouse.
Yeah. You played it, right, with us? No.
We attempted to play it, and we started, and you realized you didn't know the rules.
I didn't know the rules, yeah.
So
but you didn't play it. We played it at Anubis.
Yeah, that was
and I
me,
think you missed that.
Carlos, and Dave.
And Dave, yeah, okay. But no, you're right. We started right here at the table, and then quickly I realized, I don't know the rules well.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's a hard game. It's just, it's not like any other trick taker. And I think that's why Jamie latched onto it so well. I did say that our comments about it during the Kickstarter were, me and Carlos and Dave were like, this is a game that demands not to play it once. You need to play it to where the mechanics fall away and all you're doing is focusing on your role in the team, and then all of a sudden the game explodes. So, because the first time we played it, we played it back to back, and the first time we played it was working through it, the second time we played it was so much more smoother. It's like we could see the strategy in it. So
Yeah, so after I met Rodney, I went and checked on one of our clients, Debbie over at Wise Wizards Games.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Debbie and Rob.
Derek, where Derek works, right?
Yeah. So they just brought Derek over, and he's doing, a lot of their management stuff. So great addition to their team. And Rob actually walked up with Justin Gary from Stoneblade, designer of one of my
Ascension.
favorite
games.
games.
Yeah, Ascension.
More
Ascension.
importantly, to me, he designed Shards of Infinity.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I forgot
yeah.
about that. Yeah.
So I had another
Your
geek
favorite
out
game
moment.
of all time.
Yeah. So I told him, I think I've logged over 500 plays of Shards this year, and
Have you tried that, Adam? You ever played
Shards of Infinity? I don't think so.
Oh
no.
man,
Nope.
it's good. It's real good.
Is it a deck builder like the other? Or like
Yeah, it's a
Ascension?
deck builder where you just, buy cards from the market. There's 4 factions, and you're fighting to either reduce your opponent's health or get up to 30 mastery, at which point you can play a card that does infinite damage and essentially reduces everybody's health.
I played it only once, and I think I won.
Yeah, you
And
beat
I'm-
me
and I'm
actually.
never gonna play it again?
Yeah. So
I'm perfect 1-0.
That's fair. That's fair. But you played with just the base game.
I
Now
did.
there's-
I think you were definitely taking it easy
There's
on me.
3
So, yeah.
expansions so far.
Okay.
And I hope they keep coming out with more content because my brother and we play it every single time we get together.
But the Ascension game, Ascension, what is it called?
Chronicles of the God Slayer.
That's it. Yeah. That game, it's apparently an app also, and people play it like in the thousands of times.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands
Yeah.
and thousands.
Let me put it to you like this. I'm in the Shards of Infinity Discord,
Right.
but the Shards of Infinity Discord is just one channel within the Ascension actual Discord
wow.
channel. Yeah.
So are they all based in the same universe?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. But
But I assume Wizards had the new Star Realms, the Legacy version. Did they have that there? Because they had it at Gen Con, but it was like very early.
Yeah.
You gonna change my name?
I can't say they didn't,
Thank you.
but they were focusing on Ka-POW, which is another
Yes,
one of their
I
games
saw
that's
that at
coming
Gen Con,
out.
too.
Yeah. They were really pushing Ka-POW. There were some standees,
Yeah.
like you could take a picture with Ka-POW or Hero Realms, and there's a picture floating around Facebook where I'm wearing like these giant Hulk glove kind of things, and basically someone took the Hulk gloves, painted them like gray, and added like all these kind of. It looks like the gloves from what's the League of Legends show? The show that just came, Arcane. So the main character, Vi, she wears these giant like
Power
metal.
fists.
Yeah. So that's what it looked like I was wearing, and it was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they had that at Gen Con as well, Ka-POW, and also they had the new Star Realms Legacy.
Yeah.
But they just had like a very early version of it.
Mm-hmm.
But Ka-POW looked really good. Now, I don't love 2-player games, right? So, but it looked really interesting. It's kind of like dice manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like a dice builder. Yeah, I thought it looked really interesting. It's just not really my type of game. I
Yeah.
don't usually go for 2-player games too much.
Yeah, and Wise Wizards has kind of shifted their con presence where they don't really have a booth anymore. They still like sell stuff, but they're more in the free play area. So they got demos running all day, every day, and they get to stay open later when the hall closes and keep doing demos in their area.
What's the size of Pax U as compared to like a Gen Con or an Origins?
Right. So definitely smaller than Gen Con. I would
Yeah.
say probably about a third if I was just gonna go off the top of my head. I haven't been to Origins yet, but
Origins is still big. The last I heard, PAX exploded to like 10,000 to 15,000 people.
About 25,000 with
For
PAX. So.
their
25 now?
That's the last I checked.
But they were smaller this year than last year.
Everyone's been
So
smaller.
he might be. His numbers might be closer now. But
Everyone's been smaller. Look, they didn't even fill up Board Game Geek.
yeah, I don't think BGG is going to fill up anymore.
You know,
There's some talk saying that PAX is
Not
just.
since they moved.
2019, they were full, as far as I know.
Yeah, but think about
But that was still at
2017
the hotel.
and how many.
No, that was their first year.
Was it?
Dallas proper.
Okay.
They have not gotten over that 2,600 mark, and I don't think they are because that 2019 was that year whenever PAX was the same week. Remember, and everybody was trying to decide between the two.
Yeah.
And once the vendors went to PAX that 2019 year, when you sent me the sheet, I think it was you that sent me the sheet of where you guys, maybe it wasn't you, maybe it was Carla, sent me the sheet of where she was in the vendor hall. The vendor hall is huge at PAX U compared to BGG.
It's filled
Oh
out.
yeah. Oh yeah.
BGG
yeah.
Con is a shell when it comes to the vendors.
You don't go.
You know
to
what's fun?
BGG
Yeah,
for-
BGG's
for
for
It's
game,
about
playing
playing.
games.
It's about playing
Right.
games.
Yeah,
That's
in
why
the
you go to
community.
spring and not fall.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you go to spring, same exact library, nobody there.
So somebody
Right,
was
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it. I think it was Verla was talking about it, and she was like, "BJ, as much as I liked, because it was her first trip to fall, she's like, I get the exact same convention in the spring and only 500 people.
Yep.
The exact same convention, same library, same.
So you miss
events.
the events, right? They don't do like the poker event. I don't even know if they do the poker event at BGG anymore.
They did, yeah,
because
they did the
Monaco
poker
usually
tournament.
runs it.
They did the poker
Um,
tournament this year.
You don't get the poker event. You don't get the extra events that they do, but it's the same exact library. It's the same exact setup.
Yeah.
They bring all the dexterity games, which is fun. You know,
That
I
was
love
fun.
spring.
We spent
Like,
a lot of time
I
playing.
go to spring and then I go to Gen Con. And
December 15th, they'll start selling tickets for spring.
It's
for
big.
spring.
It's big enough where you're only going to see
That's what
Adam
I'm
on
Florida.
definitely going this year.
What's that?
Because
That's
I
one in
missed
Florida?
last year.
Which one?
Spring.
No, it's
No?
in May in Dallas at the same. Well, it's
It's-
not the
it's-
hotel. It's at the
it's-
Royal.
it's-
still at the
weekend.
airport.
It's,
It's
it's
still-
Memorial Day weekend at DFW Hyatt Regency.
Which I'm not.
Spring is still at the
I'm
airport.
not a fan of that hotel. I like the Regency better, man.
I
Such a good hotel.
It is Regency. What are you talking
it
about?
has
You're talking about Grand. You prefer the Grand, you mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. The Grand is nice because it's literally in the airport.
it has its advantages.
No, I
The
don't like the
airport.
one at the
He
airport.
doesn't like the airport. He likes it.
I like
in the
where we
middle of
were.
Dallas.
Okay. Good.
Because he
The
likes
one with the
apparently
ball.
going everywhere.
Oh, you like Reunion Tower.
Reunion Tower.
Right,
That's
there
the
you
name of it. Yeah.
See, I
Oh,
like
yeah.
spring because you never have to leave. You're just
Yeah.
there the entire time.
Yeah,
Hotel
yeah,
takes
so
care of
works like
everything.
that, yeah.
You don't want to leave because it's a pain.
Yeah.
So you just stay there the
It
entire
is-
time.
It's such a pain, man. That loop that
Yep.
you have to drive
Yep.
around.
That's why you just stay at the hotel.
It's a 7-minute walk.
It's,
You just
literally-
from
it's
there.
on the airport property.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's I mean, not again. It's literally in the middle of the airport.
Right.
The
But-
whole Skylink goes around the hotel.
Yeah. So it was interesting this year at PAX because there was another convention going on at the same time in the
I
convention
heard
center.
a
about
story
that.
about
It
this.
really made it. It
That's
was
odd.
disjointing because like last year PAX, they had like there was this giant atrium where you checked in, you got your vaccination
Right.
badge and or your wristband, and you got your badge for the convention, but it was completely empty this time, and it was shifted to the other side of the Philadelphia Convention Center, and it's a huge convention center, like runs 3 blocks, and so there's skywalks, and it felt like you were kind of going through this maze, kind of like a dungeon crawl as you were trying to get to the different parts of the convention.
Did
Took
you
a lot
have trouble
longer.
getting lost? Like there was a lot of social
little
media
bit,
posts
a
about
little
people
bit.
getting lost.
Yeah.
So the big question is, what kind of convention? It was like a baseball card convention. What was going on?
So it was. I'm
Real
probably gonna
estate?
get the
Something like
letters wrong. It was
No, a teacher
like
convention.
The National Council for Social
Studies. It was a teacher
So
convention.
it was a
Wow.
teacher convention.
The
That's-
complaints I heard was that, and it wasn't a complaint per se. It was that, hey, all of us here are vaxxed and masked,
Mm-hmm.
and this other convention is not.
Oh, really?
And so it was jarring
Yeah.
that walking down the same hallways, you had all these
Yeah.
board gamers that were wearing it,
It was weird.
and
They
another
had, like-
convention not.
Yeah.
It just felt weird. It was like a complete divide between
So
two.
they
Yeah.
had something like that last year at Gen Con too, because last year at Gen Con they had to move the date, and then it coincided with the Colts game. So you had, I think,
Oh,
it was,
the tailgaters?
I thought
it was
that
only
this year.
was it this year or last year? I
Because
forget what it was.
because it's
This year
usually in
was
the
game.
middle of August
Right,
that you have
yeah.
Gen Con, and this year we were like literally the 8th through the 12th of August.
Yeah.
So you got all the tailgaters
So
all
on
walking
Sunday,
around
you
while
literally
board
had
gamers.
Colts fans walking through the convention
Yeah.
center completely unmasked,
Yeah.
not paying attention to any of the guidelines.
Yeah.
And the food truck lines were insane.
Because of all the tailgaters, I
Right,
guess, right?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, that's kind of the same. But it's such a weird.
I just don't want you to say anything bad.
scheduling.
I thought you were about to say something bad about teachers.
No,
I don't
no,
wanna
no,
remind
no.
you
It was-
who's downstairs.
No, it was. No. I would never.
You hush
Nobody
your
should even
mouth.
come up there and
Right.
interfere in. No, it was
You can
really
hear you
interesting.
from over
Mostly because it was funny because their signage was also purple and PAX uses purple.
Oh, really?
So it was so
Oh my
weird.
God, that would be so
We-
confusing.
We were just like, somebody didn't schedule this well
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
People are accidentally walking into conferences and they're
Yeah.
like, "Wait a minute,
Yeah, there were
isn't-
tons of signs saying
This is
for
not
PAX,
this, kids."
This is for this.
So this is not to
Yeah.
get political, because that is not what the show is about.
Yeah.
I will tell you, at
Yeah.
BGG Con, we didn't have to wear masks this year,
Right.
and I came back with a con crud, which I hadn't come back from the last couple of years. So that made me think, man, maybe maybe going back to hugging people, and I did. I went back to hugging people and talking to people and being close. Maybe it was better the year before because I did not come back with Con Crud.
Well,
but I
tell me
didn't
this,
hug
BJ.
anybody. I didn't get close to anybody.
I went to
stayed in my
PAX
group.
and I don't have any concrete.
know,
I'm just
man.
saying. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm really healthy with an immune system. Anyway,
But
I think you're trying to say something about maybe your age and
close
because
to
he
death.
eats so much Buddha. It's just
Like
like,
Boudin.
It's not booty.
I forgot how much I don't like the Con Crud.
yeah.
Man, I don't like the Con
But
Crud.
speaking of PAX taking precautions for
Yep.
its attendees, that was the main reason one of my really good design friends, David Masnato, actually came to PAX. And let me tell Dave and I are like, we're like BFFs. Like, I don't know, insert old 70s duo,
Starsky and Hutch.
there you go. Iceman and whoever he flies in Top Gun with. I don't know. But point
You said
being,
Goose.
yeah, Goose. But yeah,
No, you're not.
I know. I'm just trying to make a reference for something I don't really understand.
You're
Trying to relate to you.
very carefully here.
So,
Well, I see. I shouldn't even say anything.
point being,
spoilers.
There's no spoilers.
For a 30-year-old movie. Spoilers.
Point being, David came to PAX and we met each other, and it was the greatest moment that I've had in a while. And then we played this game, which is called
Wait,
RouxMates.
you've never met in person?
No, this was the first time we ever met in person.
Wow,
Right?
that's cool.
But we played this game, RouxMates. It's ROUX Mates.
Yeah, you and I have talked about it.
Amazing game. It's like he hasn't signed it yet, but I was like, David, this isn't a Stonemaier game, but it's like a Stonemaier-like game. You know,
Okay.
you get the same
Why
kind
doesn't
of
he
feeling
pitch it
of.
to Jamie and Joe?
I mean,
should.
maybe so. But so the theme is that you all play as these roommates in an apartment, and you're sharing the space between the kitchen, like the refrigerator, the stove, the trash, and you're moving components, cooking meals and such.
It's roommate, right?
R-O-U-X.
Like the
Yeah,
roux.
yeah. Yeah.
Does your mama make a roux?
And you have to match everybody up so that they get along?
No.
There is a game like
You're
that
talking
right
about
now.
Decorum.
Yeah, Decorum.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, good.
Plays very different. It's not cooperative.
Okay,
It's
okay.
competitive.
Okay.
And so you have cards, and the cards they're not double-sided, but both sides of the cards you can orient one way to do an action or orient the other way to do an
Multi-use
action.
cards.
Yeah. So you're choosing these actions that you're doing, either like getting more food or cooking food or serving your other friends that give you these special powers so you can complete those cards to get more actions on your turn, building up this engine. You can like eat cookies that you get from doing stuff for other people. So I could like cook for Bradley, I could cook for myself. But if I cook for Bradley, I get a cookie and then I can eat the cookie. And it's not really helping Bradley because I want the cookie so that I can build my engine and do more actions.
Now, can I leave my crumbs on BJ's bed purposefully?
So you used to be able to do that,
Yeah.
actually. But so all
the goal of the game is to drive your roommate insane.
kind of, because you're sharing the space and you don't like, there's never enough space to do what you need unless you take the action that's going to like clean the kitchen or take out the trash. And these things give you points, but you have to like
sounds
time
like The
it.
Sims a little bit.
It's such a fun game. Like I played it probably 3 times this
and
weekend.
tell them we'll play it on the stream so that we can maybe get some pub for the.
Can I suggest,
publishers.
and not having seen the game, it's very early to make the suggestion.
Okay.
Possibly a theme change.
What's your new theme?
The roommates thing.
So I'm gonna let you play it before you before you decide. Wait,
We're gonna come
have
up-
you ever had a roommate?
No.
Okay, see, this is why you don't
He is
understand.
not your target audience.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
problem. Yeah.
He's like, can I change
Me
the
and
theme to
Barnes,
me by myself,
Right,
or
right,
in the
right,
room with my dogs, or
Barnes and I are your target audience.
Okay.
We've had roommates. So,
So,
No,
yeah.
Instead of cooking and cleaning, you go out and you kill some goblins. That's what I'm saying.
oh,
Yeah.
you're one of those.
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
We're going to do it more like
If it doesn't involve me murdering something, I don't want to play
You
it.
know, goblin killers have to go home and clean their dishes. And eat.
We hire goblins to do that, or we kill them.
Okay.
you know what the world needs now? Not a fresh roommate theme. It needs another fantasy medieval theme.
You're so
Hey,
right.
they work for a reason.
No, what it needs is something that we don't have a lot of. Maybe he could theme it to like a European city name.
You'll work.
You're right,
trains.
and then they could just conquer
Maybe
the
do
city.
some trading.
Yeah,
You know?
put some
Oh my
trains
gosh.
in it.
How did we not think of this?
Right.
What's up, Steve? NameFather checking in.
There he is. Oh, I didn't even check. He is checked in.
Yeah, he picked up a lot of games. He picked up, was it Flamecraft?
Yeah,
No, did he
I've
take
heard
it?
that.
One of the hotness.
I've played
Taco
it.
Bell.
I've played it 3
Flamecraft's
I
times.
think you did.
I've played it 3 times now.
No, he picked up the Emerald Flame. It's a different game. Cooperative.
Steve, give us a list of your games
Yeah.
in the chat. I saw your pictures, but I don't remember. I know he picked up a couple of button shy games too. So
Why wouldn't you?
There it is.
that Battle Crest game is
Akropolis.
fun.
It's like
Akropolis.
buying Wink games. You just, it's just
True.
It's like one potato chip. I just need them all now.
Yeah.
Akropolis.
Okay, so that is a really cool little tile layer, right, Steve? If I remember right, that everybody's talking about.
Is that the one you stack them, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Plays in like 30 or 40 minutes. That looks right up my alley.
Light in the Mist was the other game I was thinking of that he picked up.
Light in the Mist. Okay.
Yeah.
The Emerald Flame and Light in the Mist. And a bunch of button shy games. By the way, you need to play the Battle Crest game. That's fun. Fun little 2-player skirmish game.
I don't like 2-player games.
Oh, well, then
You
you're not
said
going
that
to play
earlier.
it. You're not going to play it then.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
If it's
Rove
then that was
and
solo.
Skull. Oh, Skulls of Sadlik, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. That's the same designer as Battle Crest game. So
Okay.
I'm anxious about playing
Nice.
that.
Nice.
So.
Nice. Some of the games I picked up, the one we're going to play here, Chiseled, which is from Copperfrog Games. They also did Pigment.
I think Bradley played Pigment with us a long time ago. Do you remember that one? It was a 3-player worker placement game about creating art. We played it at the old game store. Before we went to Anubis, that game store.
Hey, we got a first-time chatter, the official Rogue Cry. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for stopping by.
Roguery, maybe.
Roguery? Oh, okay. Is that a C or a O?
Yeah, we may have to delete that.
Yep.
Yeah? I
We
can't
don't do Doge.
It's an advertisement.
We don't do
it's-
Dogecoin here.
Well, yeah, thanks for dropping in, and you're not going to stay
It's
for long.
spamming us. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But who's
Oh, the Clyde's back.
Clyde, man.
You know you hit it big when the Doge advertisement started.
Wow.
absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
That's the power of Jay.
All 5 viewers
That
trying
band
to get their hooks into
That's
them.
right. Just look, that's right.
Beach, if you want to go ban him, I'll go ahead and continue.
He doesn't know how to do that.
I know.
He's going to end up turning the
4
stream off.
hours later.
If the stream suddenly dies, you know what happened.
Hours later.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to play Chiseled. I stopped over at the Copperfrog Games booth, and I got to meet the designer, the owner of the company. And what sucks is I don't totally remember his name. I could probably
Jay.
look on the box behind
Jay.
me. No, because it's not on the box. Look at that. Be on a limb without.
He's the designer and the owner of the company.
Other side.
I think so.
There's
Is
a
it-
trash can.
Michael Epstein.
Yeah, Michael
There you
Epstein.
go.
Yeah, I got to meet Michael.
I just knew that.
And he's gonna see this and be
Yeah.
like, that guy.
I
doesn't
just
even
totally
remember
knew
my
that.
name.
Pulled it. I didn't look on the back of the rule book or anything.
Yeah, but the game I love. But I'm an art
I
student.
see editing and it does not say J Bell.
That's true.
That's a
I had
misprint.
nothing to do with this
That's a
project.
misprint. Come on, Jay. You got to get in, man.
We did
You got to be in it to win it.
we did a Dice Tower video for Pigment. And Pigment was a fun little 3-person
Okay.
worker placement game. I didn't think it had enough meat on its bones, but I am curious about Chiseled, so I want you to teach that one.
Yeah, Chiseled has no meat. It's all marble.
Game.
I like it.
I also got
It's been
to
deleted.
see a demo of another game that I'm gonna bring by on Saturday for the birthday celebration.
The big
It's-
birthday stream, yep.
Yeah, it's called Cat-Tastrophe, a game of 9 lives.
Sounds like a
That
BGG
one I've
game.
heard of, right?
I don't know. Maybe it's from the publisher, the original Sasquatch.
Okay.
This is the
I've
first
either
designer
heard
I've
of
seen.
this or it's a meme that Carlos has shared at one point. Because it has a cat in it.
So here's the thing. I went up to this booth with Brent, our North America team manager, and as the demo and the pitch went on, I fell in love more and more with the
Really?
game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is like
because of the pun?
well, because of all the puns in the game. So this game has probably the best art I've seen in a while. Like
Oh,
you
wow.
got these power cats, and they're puns and spins of Darth Vader, Yoda, Indiana Jones, Black Panther,
They're
I'm
good
in.
suit.
Miss Marvel.
You don't
like,
mess with Disney, man.
man, like these, and the cats look amazing. Like perfect. The art in this game is absolutely stunning. But the gameplay is just as good. So we start at the top of this cat tree, right? Appropriate. And there's 9 levels on the cat tree. You start at the top,
9 levels.
9 lives. Every time you lose a life, you go down on the cat tree. At the bottom of the cat tree, there's the Grim Reaper. It's an evil cat that is climbing up the cat tree to take your lives.
Okay.
And if you end up on the same spot as the Grim Reaper, you're dead. You're out of the game. Last cat surviving wins. And so the gameplay is simply, I play a card. It says Bradley has to, do this thing or he's going to lose a life. Bradley tries to do the thing. Some of it's rolling dice. If you don't roll the dice that you need, you can spin a ball of yarn to re-roll. And then you get the dice you need. BJ.
Your favorite thing, dice rolling.
Yeah.
More dice rolling.
Yeah.
What is Telfer saying?
I don't know.
Topher is saying, are there
A Rapunzel.
Rapunzel?
Oh, on the tower.
No, but there is a prince. It's Princess Aurora, and so
There
it's
you
the
go.
cat. It's the girl from Sleeping Beauty. Yeah, like,
I like what I'm hearing, Bradley.
Of course you do.
there's
Of course
so
you
many
do.
good cat puns in this game. But what I really liked about the game is that you can really like throw some take that at each other. But after each round, you play like a Mario Party style mini game.
Oh, okay.
Like the one we did, you had to stack the yarn balls, and whoever makes the stack of yarn balls fall over, you lose a life.
The
dexterity.
dexterity.
Yeah. Yeah, Bradley's looking at me like he wants to say something, but clearly because there's no goblins in this game and you're not hiring or killing them.
I don't understand how I'm criticized for murdering goblins, and you're totally okay with killing cats.
Right.
These
Listen,
cats are dying in
they
this
have
game.
9 lives.
They're dying, though. They're getting chased by the Grim Reaper.
Prince.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
Steve.
And
I
somehow
agree.
I'm the bad guy.
So we are officially naming that the new contribution from Pax U that we're going to hopefully post up pretty soon will be from the Gumbo Guild at his
The
university.
Gumbo Guild. I like it.
It's
the
going-
Gumbo Guild.
It's going. And then I want Carlos to do a shirt for me, and it's going to have my face in like a silhouette with a smile, and it's going to say "Gumbo is life."
I thought you were going a completely different
do you think of
direction.
that?
Are
I
you
thought
drunk tonight?
I thought he was going to say his face is going to be in like the Zordon pod, and
Right.
Steve's students are going to be the Power Rangers.
Gumbo is life. Gumbo
Yeah.
is life.
So there's Cat-Tastrophe, a game of 9 lives that we're going to play. I also picked up an RPG that is very well renowned, Zhangxi, that Blood in the Banquet Hall by Banana Chan and Sinful Lim. So that's an RPG that, Bradley, you like RPGs.
Maybe.
There's no goblins. There's zombies.
I'm out. Okay, maybe. I'm halfway
Zombies?
Yeah.
Barnes is into that.
I'm at the door looking inside, seeing what's going on.
Okay. There's food being cooked and zombies being killed.
Sarah McLaughlin can be the
What's with you and the
spokesperson
cooking
for that
tonight?
game.
I don't know.
You making
For the
cookies?
cat game.
You
The
cooking for
cat game? Is
zombies?
Sarah McLaughlin a cat fan? I don't know the pop reference
Oh,
there.
I don't know, Sarah.
She's
doesn't
the one who's
she's
doing
a
all
singer.
the late night. Oh, I feel so bad for myself because I'm not saving all the cats and dogs in the world.
Oh, I don't watch TV, so yeah, okay.
This guy's on it. Adam's on it.
Adam is definitely on it. Danny Rosa. So at least Steve picked up the reference. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Gumbo is life. I'm gonna do that.
Is that a Karate Kid?
No, it's Ted Lasso.
Oh,
So
Daniel LaRusso's.
it's a Ted Lasso.
Nobody
joke.
cares.
So, all right.
Only
So that
me, they
is
care.
Saturday, and you stayed one more day. Or
Yeah, there's so much stuff that happened that we
All
could
right,
talk
big
about.
game. What's the best game you played at PAX?
Best game I played
Lay
at
it
PAX. I played so many unpublished games, but
Yeah.
the published game that I really loved was Fit to Print.
Okay, I almost
Yeah.
backed that. 2 days left on the Kickstarter, by the way. if you want to
Man,
back.
and I'm about
But
to pull the trigger.
The only thing is that the real time aspect. That's
It's
where I
not
wasn't
as bad as
sure.
you think.
Okay.
It's not as bad as you think. I mean, it's 4 minutes, 3 rounds of 4 minutes. That's it.
I like the way
It's 12
Galaxy
minutes.
Trucker handles it. That is fun. It's a short thing, and then you throw it together.
Don't bring up Galaxy Truck or Jay will leave.
Shh. So,
Jay was out of
We
the room.
played.
Back
I played
to
Galaxy
Fit to
Trucker
Print.
with them.
back to Fit to Print.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
in this game, you are in a newsroom, right? Newsletter, creating newspaper, and there are all these tiles that are face down. There are ads, there's articles, and there's pictures. You want to put them in this designated sort of square for Friday, and then Saturday's a little bigger, and Sunday's even bigger.
Yep.
So you play 3 rounds, and you're trying to first take the tile, flip it over, see if you want to keep it. If you want to keep it, you throw it on your news desk, right? Everybody's got this little cardboard constructible news desk. If you don't want it, you put it back in the center face up, so then other players have an easier chance to take it. But you're stacking all these different things based on what you want, because you start with like a main article that tells you you're going to get a couple extra points if you take a certain thing. So you're looking for particular things that'll, one, fit onto your newsletter, but then also fill out that objective to get some extra points. So once you do that, you yell layout. That means you can't take any more tiles, but you can start moving the ones from your desk onto your newspaper, organizing it however you feel is best. And other players are still doing their thing. They don't have to like do the same thing as you within that 4-minute time period. But once you have all of your things set how you want them, you yell print, and you take a token, you get some extra points, clock's running down for the other people. So it's real time, but you have 4 minutes to do as you please at your own pace, right? The scoring for it is really, really interesting though, because you have to balance good news and bad news, because you want your newspaper to give the good feels, but also sometimes give the bad feels. The pictures score based on what's around them, and the ads are really interesting because the ads don't give you points unless you have a special power. But whoever has the least amount of ad revenue doesn't score at the end of the game. So you got to think about it in the back of your head, like, I don't want to be last. I don't need to be first, though.
Yeah, it's the whole QE thing again, where we just don't count the last person.
I think Carlos was looking at that one. I don't know if he backed it, but Carlos worked for a newspaper. I mean, he does the same thing you do. He does graphic layout and design. But I'm pretty certain he was looking at that one. I don't think he backed it, but it was one he was looking at pretty hard.
3 days left.
Yeah, what I really like about the game is it comes with a bunch of different modes. One that doesn't include the real-time element, so BJ doesn't have to stress out. Another one that actually puts players on teams. And one player is looking at the ads, throwing them on the desk. The other player is literally dexterity lifting the desk, bringing it over to another player, and sliding it onto their board. And then it's that player's job to set up the newspaper.
If the real time is in short bursts like Steam Park or Galaxy Trucker, I'm okay with that. If the whole game is about about a timer
like Pendulum,
the Pendulum was interesting the first time I played it. Without the timer, the second time me and you played it, the second time with no timer was not interesting at all. And then the third time I played it, and the fourth time I played it with Jared twice, and then by the second time we were like, "This is
can't do it."
That's the thing. A lot of the games that are real time based, like they're like, "Oh, here's the rule to not make it real time," but then you lose so much from the game.
Do you remember our second play? We tried it without the timer just to see.
I've never played it with the timer.
We did.
Really?
The first half of the game we played with the timer, and we didn't like it. Yeah. So we tried it without the timer, and
it's
the
just
game
dry.
itself was too dry.
When I learned the rules, we did it without the timer. Everyone stepping through the rules, and then finally we put in the timers. And basically, the game is you do everything you need, and you just sit there and you watch the timer go down until you can start doing your stuff. That's the game.
Sometimes. I could understand actually why people would like Pendulum, but after the first play, it got less and less interesting to me, which is not what I want.
Well, I mean, like nieces and nephews love real-time games.
Yeah,
that's one of their favorite games. Anything that's tactile, so you build things, or anything with a real-time element, they absolutely love. But for me, it's my brain goes in 75 different directions, and it like short circuits. Yeah. So real-time anything doesn't really work for me.
Yeah. So there's 2 more games that I'll bring up, both not yet published. The first is Crop Circle Champions. This is coming from Jellyfish Games, the same designers as Vamp on the Batwalk.
Yes. Right.
So
that's where I've heard of it.
Cody is up in Seattle with that community, Emma Larkins, Randy Flynn, and the Flat Out team, right? And it's great because this game is essentially Cascadia-like, right? It's the introduction Cascadia that you play with your nieces, your nephews, your grandbugs, and get them sort of introduced to that hexagonal system building where you have this long-term plan to hit these goals, and it has a nice little theme of you're just making crop circles, you're collecting this little alien UFO tokens that you're dropping on top of it. What's interesting is on your turn you can score 2 different goals, and you don't have to. So you can build out your crop circle area the way you kind of want throughout each turn, and then kind of chain them together to get 12 points in one turn, and then some of your tiles are sort of blocked off from scoring again, but then you already have a couple other ones set up. It's really nice. Coming to Kickstarter sometime next year.
I like the sound of it.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And the last game that I got to play that was unpublished was from Clarence Simpson, designer of the Wolves.
Of the Wolves, right. Another area control game or something different?
Yeah, it's an area control game. It's an area control party game.
Oh, goblins?
Yeah.
Goblin party?
There might be goblins in this one. There might be goblins in this one. So this game is called All the Things currently. It's currently called All the Things.
All the Things.
I think the game should be called The Phoenix is Soft, because
I don't know what that joke is.
I'm going to explain the joke. So in this game, you have a grid of 16 cards, and you're on teams. It's a team-based party game. So let's say Bradley and I were on teams, and one of the cards said, or the 16 cards said, things that are hot, things that have wings, things that start with a P, things in your house, things that are imaginary, things that give birth, things that are metal, things that are heavy.
$25,000 pyramid, right? Something like that.
So what you're doing is, on your turn, you name something, and you want that thing to apply to as many of the 16 cards in this
like reverse
grid.
code names?
It's sort of like code names.
Okay, reverse code
But
names.
you're trying to control. So I chose the word Phoenix, and I
Okay.
said a Phoenix has wings, and I put one of my cubes on that card. I said a Phoenix is hot. Put one of my cubes on that card, and I said a Phoenix is soft. And then at that point, the debate ensues, because the other team can challenge the word that the instance you said.
They know that you picked Phoenix?
Yeah, so
Or you're just
you
putting
say
teams
this.
out?
Yeah,
Okay,
you say
it.
this.
Okay.
You say these things and basically say, like, your statement is justified, and, a Phoenix has wings, a Phoenix
yeah.
is on fire. But they didn't agree that a Phoenix is soft. And so you get some time to debate whether or not the Phoenix is soft or the statement is valid.
Have
right?
you ever met a soft Phoenix in your entire life?
Why
I'm
wouldn't
pretty
the Phoenix
certain
be
they're
soft?
imaginary, but
Right.
Yeah.
They are legendary, right?
they're
Have you met a
I've
Phoenix?
never met one, right?
So, and here's the thing: there's only one Phoenix because it always comes back to life.
Right.
But what I didn't have on my team is someone who is very knowledgeable about birds.
Oh.
Later, I found out from our resident expert about birds on the Panda
Birds
team.
are soft for the
Yeah,
most part,
and a
right?
Phoenix is not always on fire. It's born from fire.
You seems like you put a lot of thought into this.
So
After the fact,
so that was the game, right?
You're staying up
Right.
at night trying to come up with ways I could totally explain why a bird is soft.
How long
Still-
was your
still-
turn?
Right,
Still
so
playing this
you
game,
get like
right?
30 seconds to debate whether or not your statement is valid, and then everyone votes. If the vote ties or you lose, you get like a penalty, and this the next team's turn. And then they tried to convince me that a pillow is smooth, and I was
No.
like,
It's not smooth. No.
see, not all pillows are smooth, and you want to do like the most in the majority of the
creases
time.
in it.
Lots of pillows are smooth, but not every pillow is smooth, right? So that's the game, and essentially you're trying to get 3 kind of tic-tac-toe style. You can diagonal, horizontal, vertical, and you don't gain control of the area unless you hit the same area twice. So when I said a Phoenix is on fire, we got that point, but you have
so-
to hit it again.
Think like how Cat in the Box works, where you're playing Cat in the Box to score points on the bet that you're doing the trick taking. But the real goal of the game is to get the area control with the little
You didn't
markers.
call this semantics the game.
Right.
Pillows are not smooth and phoenixes are not soft.
Phoenix is
Listen,
Right.
The
so
Phoenix
green
is
team
soft.
wins. That's a game you and I are going to play for your birthday. These 2 guys, I'm not sure.
All right, I've played Green Team Wins. I crushed that Green Team
Yeah,
Wins.
it's such a great game.
Yeah.
He's played Green Team Wins, and you didn't. No, you haven't.
I have not
Dem-
played that game at all.
So the game he described is
Right.
is one of those games with Green Team Wins. Although on Green Team Wins, you actually don't know what the word is. Everybody's telling you.
That's
Yeah,
what-
yeah,
So
everybody puts it
I was going to say, it
themselves,
sounds
yeah.
like a game I'm familiar with that I own called Concept.
yeah.
Which is-
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
understand
yeah.
where it'd be like
Yeah,
concept, but
yeah.
but more of an improv version.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
Very
and that's what I told Clarence. I was like, the minute he started explaining the game, I was like, I'm gonna like this game because I've done improv games where you're trying to do this sort of same thing. It's called Thunderdome, but yeah, I'm so excited to see that one come out just because most
I was
party
thinking it's
games.
like the yes but thing with improv because it's like the
Oh,
Phoenix is hot. Yes, but it's also
yeah.
smooth. Yes, but
Uh-huh.
it's also blah blah blah.
Yeah, but I found it so interesting that like most party games, you focus on the party part and you don't really worry about the score. Like that's not the reason you play the game. But I felt like in this game, the scoring is what drives you to actually make the party. Like based on where you're trying to hit, you're gonna say certain things. You're gonna choose certain words that then engages.
And that brings up a good topic though. Is the best party games
Mm-hmm.
aren't they the ones where the score doesn't matter at the end of the game? Like in Just One, does it really matter what you score,
Right.
or is it the fact that you
Right,
fail?
right.
You know,
Right.
Yeah. Normally it's about the experience, right?
We do Times Up at BGG, like 2 a.m. or something like that. And it was just great. One time we played Times Up, and the guys were so weird about the way I was doing it, they just pointed to me, and they said, him.
Yeah. You get to that meta moment.
Whatever it was I was trying to do, they were like, okay, it's definitely him. Just point to him.
You get to that meta moment in Time's Up where you're literally just pointing at somebody or a spot on the floor because that's where they were standing when they said something. You know, and that's where it becomes so mad.
Steve said the Phoenix is soft when it's in ashes. Or this game should be called Fruitless Fights with Friends.
Fruitless Fights with Friends. Yeah.
Fights
with Friends.
How to lose friends and alienate people.
There you
go. You got the wrong friends then, man.
The opposite of Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
I like to just cut it to Fights with Friends. That might be a good one. That's
the majority of it. To sum it up simply, PAX, I played tons of unpublished games that are really, really, really good.
That we should see over the next year or so.
Yeah. And I met up with tons and tons of people that I either only met on the internet and got to meet for the first time, or people that I, never thought I would meet. And it's just getting better and better. It's my favorite con just because of that. I love meeting up my friends.
So, I finally met Verla in person at BGG Con.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking about. As you were talking, I was thinking how even though that was the first time I've ever met Verla in person, it didn't feel like that the whole week. It felt like, like we've known each other forever because we've done so many things with Gumbo Live and everything else on the chat.
The ambassador, right?
Yeah, the board game ambassador. Right. All right, so that's J Bell's wrap up of PAX Unplugged for this year.